I'm going to beat them up a little bit, and I've started on the Tiger 1. I used one of these JLC razor saw, and essentially I just split down the edges there. Take that off. Just to split the side skirts. So I whipped through there. Then what I did was where's it gone? I got a lighter, lit the lighter, and just gently, only for a second or two, just wafted it on the plastic, and then grabbed my tweezers and got in there with my tweezers. So I've done that here and there. I'm just going to have a little go now on one of the back exhaust covers. I'll get that out of the way and see if this can go horribly wrong. So here we go. Waft, 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 waft. Okay, that one wasn't really hot enough. Let's try it again. And that one, of course, was too hot. But anyway, adds a little bit of battle damage to it. And then the other thing is I've put some shell holes. And in 1/72, I wanted it to look pretty beat up. So how many have I got here? I've got one there which needs a little bit of filling. I've got one just to put for the vision port, another one glancing off the glasses there. 1, 2, 3 off the turret, and another side shot there. So that's the Tiger. The Sherman is going to get not beat up, but I want to put a little bit of extra kit on it. So one of the things I'm going to do is I'll put a shelf, not that size obviously, but I'll put a shelf across there and a little bit of stowage on it, and then I'll put some stowage on the back deck. A lot of the Polish Shermans that I've seen had another toolbox out the back here, so if I can find something box shaped, then I'll add that on too. So it's been quite a busy week. Went to Overlord. I whacked the video of the day up on the tube the other night. So left off with wondering what to do with the Sherman, and like I say, I've done a few little bits and bobs on it. So I've added this wooden plank here. I'm not going to bother putting any brackets on it, you just won't see it. So I've got a little wooden bracket there, wooden plank there, and on the back I've made this kind of, that'll end up looking metal. It's not dead straight, but that's how it goes. Then also on the turret, I've made a little bit of cam netting out of a piece of gauze with a little bit of Tamiya masking tape wrapped around it. It'll look all right, I think. But then I noticed on the web the other day, I was having a little browse through, and I got these from Red Dog. So this is for a Polish Sherman. So we've got, well, I'll get them out in a minute, but we've got a couple of spare wheels there, a couple of tarps, whatever that is, but that's actually got quite a lot of pit damage on it. A nice little bit of stowage for the back deck, and again another kind of scrim netting. And then we've got these which are kind of going to get draped over the barrel. I think that's what they're for. So I'll be attaching those. In fact, let's just have a little look inside the Red Dog pack. Where's my razor sharp dirk? Here it is. Again, trying my best not to cut my finger, which seems to be pretty standard of fare these days. There they are. Let's have a little zoom in. So little resin casts, and I think they'll look pretty good on there actually. So I'll get those off tonight. Oh, it's the end of the brittle resin. So I'll get those put on, mounted on the Sherman tonight. And then the other thing I got, because I am anticipating doing this diorama, are these 5 Now the British squaddies, I'm not sure whether Polish squaddies would dress the same and are armed the same as the Brits, but it could be a British unit, I guess. But they're nice. So the idea is that I might have one of them posing against a Tiger, that chap there maybe, or posing against a Sherman as the other ones are walking past. I think that's where I'm headed with those. But yeah, I'm impressed with them. So I'll kind of cut those out off the scaffolds tonight. Without breaking them, with a bit of luck. Right, let's get on with that then. Okay, so the chaos continues. Somebody on the YouTube pointed out to me that the Sherman Firefly didn't have the barrel machine gun, and that is actually quite correct. It doesn't have the barrel machine gun. They were completely replaced for storage, ammo storage. So this was taken out. So I'm just going to scratch this off. Well, I have scratched it off. I'm making a right pig's ear of it with the tools that I've got. And I'm getting close to breaking off all the other little bits and bobs as well. But anyway, I'll get that off. Then I think the only way that I can put that last bit of stowage in is by putting another tarp on. I've got a couple of reference photos of tarps just dangling over, so it's fine with that. But otherwise they just look as though they're floating. So I shall crack on with that. I've got them done, so they are now just awaiting a bit of a primer. I'll just zoom in a little bit. There we go. So there's the Tiger. I say I've put a little bit of battle damage all over him. So quite happy with that. Quite happy with the gun barrel. I think that all looks pretty good. And here's the Sherman. The tracks are fragile at the minute, so they pop off all the time. But essentially that's him done. I might just throw another little bit of tarp just over the front now. Let me zoom out. Just over the front there a little bit, just to. And I don't know if that's historically accurate or not. Who knows? But I shall get the undercoat on. So there they are. Quite happy. Okay, very quick update for this morning. So I've got the grey primer on. I use the that bad boy. I think sometimes it's a bit heavy, maybe for 1/72, but it's gone on all right. I'm pretty happy with the. See if we can zoom in a little bit. The light's not great in here this morning. I'm pretty happy with the coverage. It's gone on there quite nicely. So, yeah, they're almost ready to the first coat. It definitely did a good job on the Tiger turret. I was a little worried about the barrel, but again, that all looks tickety-boo. If we can get the thing in focus, that's better. So this morning's job is to get the base coat on. So I just need to have a little think about the colours I'm going to use for that. Right, so I've got the Tiger done in Normandy Tiger stripes. Again, I don't know how historically accurate that is, but I don't mind. It's I'm really happy with it. It's come out all right. So what colours did I use? So base coated it with XF88 dark yellow, and I thinned that down with my favourite thinner, which is Mr. Colour 400 thinner, which was banging. I then used, where's it gone? Hold on. Yeah, so I then used XF64, the red brown from Tamiya, again with really thinned down with Mr. Thinners. I took that down to about, well, I don't know, but really thin paint, and a low pressure in my airbrush, not hairbrush, airbrush, and olive green XF58, but that was a bit too dark, I think. I mean, it looks alright there, but when I first sprayed it, it looked dark, so I cut that back with a little bit of XF2 flat white. So yeah, just a bit with that. I think that's come out alright. That looked pretty good under the woods somewhere. So next on the list, oh yeah, obviously I've done the running gear wheels, and I thought I'd have one in primer. So next on the list is to get the Sherman done, but that's later today. Right, just another quick look at the Tiger. So that's them all done, I think, with the camo. I started on the tracks, and they're looking all right too. I'm going to whack them on in a minute. I tried having a paint of the wheels, because it's meant to be rubber wheels, but I'm so bad at that kind of painting, so I'm not quite sure what I'm going to do there. They're too thick anyway, so what I might just do is just go back to the Dunkel Gelb on that. I'm just going to change the. It's just a little dark. Let's see if we can get this a bit better. That's a bit better. Yeah, but the other thing I had to do as well, because I wanted to have a good contact in it, is I sort of looking for, masked off the internal bits of all the wheels, so when I glue it back on, it'll be plastic to plastic. And then last thing I'm going to do is just give it a dry brush, I think, and then give it a couple of washes with some sand, and then get the decals on. So not a load of decals to go on, as we saw in the unboxing. There we go. So I'm not anticipating any issues with those, so I'll get those on now, and then I can get a coat of matte varnish on it, get on with a bit of weathering, but whilst that's drying overnight, I will then start on the Sherman. Right, so the weather's absolutely horrific at the minute down in south coast of England, but anyway, here we are, and I'm going to say that I'm pretty much there with the two tanks. There's still a little bit more, you know, there's always more you can do to it, and I haven't weathered them, but I think I am pretty much finished with the painting. So and I want to get a vid up. So there's the Tiger. Decals are all on. All the, just see if I can zoom in a little bit on whatnot. So I've done all the tools. Again, they need to be weathered in, and I've also started the shots in the armour there, so I've done those as well. So yeah, I'm calling that done apart from the weathering. The Firefly, so again, a couple of things which I needed to do on this was obviously behind here. I put this netting on before I put the decals on, so I had to sort of adapt that so it would go in a little bit. But get a little bit of shine off the decals. That's because that's where I glossed it to put the decals down. But once it's all been re-glossed over, it should be all right. tracks I'm pretty happy with. Let's zoom in a little bit more on those if I can. Yeah, they're alright, I think. I am pretty happy. Stowage is on and getting there, painted. But that's then definitely, I'm going to say that they are definitely done. So I'll get a few snaps of those and finish this week's vid. Lovely.